I wrap up. This month I actually read 20 books. I read a lot of graphic novels, but this will also obviously include my reading rush wrap up, sort of. So since I did read 20 books this month, I'm going to try and just do a quick overview of each one and like what I rated it. So yeah, let's get into it. I actually don't have most of the physical copies of the books that I read, so I'm just going to go on my Goodreads and just talk about each one. So, the first book that I read in July was The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Ichrup. This one I wound up giving a 2 out of 5 stars. It was a good book, like I can realize that it was a good book, but it just wasn't really my vibe, and it wasn't because it was about World War II. I've always really loved reading about World War II, even though obviously it is a very tragic, I've always really loved reading about World War II. This just wasn't really my favorite story, I guess. The second book I read was Crown of Midnight, which is the second book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, and this is actually a reread for me, and I obviously would probably give it 5 out of 5 stars. Well, yeah, I'd probably say I'd give it like 4 out of 5 stars. But I did definitely enjoy reading this book this second time around more. And I'm going to continue trying to read the rest of the series. Next book I read was Flight Volume 5, which is a book that is a collaboration of graphic novel writers who made like little short graphic novels and joined them all together in the same book. This one I would probably give 4 out of 5 stars. I think I liked the ones that I've read before more than this one, but I still really love these flight novels. There's like 5 or 6 of them, I believe. There might be more, but that's all that I've seen. The next book I read was Will and Wit by Laura Lee Gullidge. This one was really good. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was a really cute graphic novel. I felt like it went a little quick though. Obviously it's a graphic novel, so most of them go pretty quick for me, but yeah, it was really cute. Just like short read, and yeah. The next book I read was Mercury by Hope Larson. This was another graphic novel. I was kind of on a graphic novel kick. This book was about a girl and then her like great something ancestor, and it kind of went between the two perspectives of her in like the present and then in the past with her ancestor, and I really liked the comparison, and the storyline was really good. This one I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Girls at 17 Swan Street by youre. This one was a book about this one might be a trigger to some people. This was a book about anorexia and eating disorders, and like a group home to kind of help women for this. It was just a fiction story, but obviously that scared me. Oh my god, my reaction. I'm not used to people knocking on my door, obviously. I think that was just a package. Yeah, I could see the truck. Oh my god, that scared the crap out of me, guys. I thought I was going to be murdered. My cat is like giving me the evil eye right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, back on a serious note. This is obviously a very real matter, so if this is a trigger for you guys, you might not want to read it, but if it is something that might interest others, I really liked this book, and I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. The next book I read was one that I loved so much. It was City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert. Guys, oh my gosh, it's like a flapper 1940s New York. Like, just, oh my gosh, it was so good, guys. I loved it so much. It was about this girl kind of like finding herself in New York in the 1940s, and kind of all the trials that she went through as she became this like person, and it was really good, guys. I cannot talk about it enough. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. This one I read Monday's Not Coming too before, and that one I actually liked more than this one, I think. But this one is about a girl who is living in a group home, and she's always like, she was in baby prison before, and now she's in a group home because she was accused of murdering a baby when she was 9 years old. The next book I read was Planet Ladder Volume 1 by youre. This book was, I read this one and then I read the second one after, so I'll just touch on them both at once. Not my favorite graphic novels. It was about a girl who, honestly, I didn't really understand the concept at all. I wound up giving it like a 2 out of 5 stars, I think, but yeah, it was okay. The next book I read was If You're Out There by Katie Lutz. This book was so good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Did I just say 4 out of 5? I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. This book was about a girl who, I was actually kind of on the fence about it when I got it, but it was a book about a girl who, her friend moved away suddenly, and she just ghosted her, stopped talking to her, like, over the phone. She stopped emailing her, whatever, and she was, like, really upset about it. And then she wound up meeting this new boy at school, and she kind of started to talk to him about it, and they started to kind of look into it, and they figured out that it wasn't actually, her friend didn't actually ghost her, but that there was another circumstance why she could not answer her. And it was, whoa, it was really interesting. I really enjoyed this book a lot. The next book I read was Home After Dark by David Small. This was another graphic novel. It wasn't my favorite graphic novel ever, but I wouldn't say that I hated it. The next book I read was Of Nightingales That Weep by Catherine Peterson. This book was very interesting. It took a lot of weird turns. I really personally enjoyed it. The next book I read, oh my gosh guys, another favorite of mine next to City of Girls, but this one was actually better. Oh my gosh. Lovely War by Julie Berry. If you guys haven't read this book, it is so good. So good. This one I actually read by the recommendation. Not the recommendation, but I saw it on her Instagram story. Monica Kim's Instagram story. She posted, and she actually has a playlist on Spotify that you guys should follow for this book. It was so good. This is a book that is actually, it's narrated, like, it's based around the Greek gods, and it's actually Aphrodite and a few of the other gods narrating a story about 2 different like romance love couples and their storyline based during World War I, I believe. It was so good, guys, and I would highly recommend it. Very, very good. The next book I read was The Start of Reading Rush. This is the first book that I read for Reading Rush, and it was You're My Pet, Volume 1 by Yayoi Ogawa. This one was about a girl who, her life kind of starts to spiral out of control after her fiance breaks up with her, and she meets this boy who is homeless, and she kind of takes him in as her pet. But it actually has a few, I'm not sure how many other books are in this series, but I'm really excited to read it. It is really good, and I think I'm going to read the books on my Kindle, or not my Kindle, but on my Kindle app pretty soon, because I did really enjoy this story. The next book I read was Pretty Little Mistakes by Heather Mcelhatton. This book I found at Goodwill one day during Reading Rush, actually, and it's a book, it's a really quick read. It's a like do-over novel where it's set up like the first page, it's like a choose your own story. So you like you have like 2 options, like you go to college or you travel, and then from there it like branches off into other things. Like if you travel, then you'll go down a different path, and then like you'll see how it'll wind up. It wasn't quite as I expected it was gonna be. Like, it was kind of weird. The writing was pretty good, but it was just different than I thought it was going to be, so I didn't actually wind up liking it very much. But if you guys like that kind of thing, then you might enjoy it. The next book I read for Reading Rush was Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. This one was actually probably my favorite book, and it was such a cute book. I really liked it. I really liked the pacing, and I liked the relationships, and I thought it was a really fun book. I love this one. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. This one, I don't remember what rating I gave it. 4 out of 5 stars. This one I I think it was because I read Since You've Been Gone first, but I was not really in the mood for this book. It was still good, but it just wasn't for me at the time. I might end up rereading it at some point. It was still a really good book. Like, I appreciate the story and the writing. It just wasn't something that I was in the mood for at the time, but I still really did love it and suggest it. The next book I read was Flux File by Orion Cortoloto. This book was a poetry book. I did really like this one, and I think I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The World According to Humphrey. Oh my gosh, my cat. By Betty J. Burney. Would you get down, dude? This book was a children's book about a hamster who is a school pet. So it was really cute to read, but definitely not as good as when I was a kid. And then the last book that I read for the month is The Other Berlin Girl by Philippa Gregory. Guys, gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It took me forever, and I wound up failing Reading Rush because of it, but it was so good. So good. This is about the story of kind of like the feud between Mary Boleyn and Anne Boleyn, and their relationship with Henry VIII. Anne Boleyn was the one who actually wound up marrying Henry VIII, but Mary Boleyn actually had a relationship as a mistress to Henry VIII beforehand, and it kind of goes over like her loss and her like discoveries in life, and her, kind of the entire like court situation and her hometown situation and her entire like family and how court works and how it's just so manipulative and messed up, but it was so interesting, and I definitely recommend this book. Oh my gosh. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Whoa, I just like the whoa. No, I didn't. So yeah, that's gonna be it. If you guys like this video and you like seeing wrap-ups, I never actually have done a wrap-up, I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't remember. I don't recall. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.